Unmasked, Episode 14, The Lies They Tell. There's something people don't talk about enough. Not what they say to you, but what they say about you to everyone else. Because abuse doesn't just happen between two people. It gets managed, it gets rewritten, it gets protected. And one of the biggest ways they do that is through the stories they tell their own friends and family. While you're living it, they're explaining it. But not truthfully, never truthfully. They don't go to their friends and say, "I've hurt her. I've crossed boundaries. I've said things I shouldn't have said." They don't say, "I've made her feel unsafe." They say things like, "She's hard work. She's always arguing. She twists things. She's unstable." And it sounds believable because it's just enough truth. Wrapped in distortion, they take your reactions and present them as your personality. They take your breaking point and present it as your baseline. So when you finally react, when you finally cry, when you finally defend yourself, that's the version they show people. Not what led up to it, not what pushed you there, just the reaction. She lost it. She's dramatic. She's crazy. And suddenly, you're the problem. They don't tell people about the pressure, the control, the comments, the things said behind closed doors. They don't talk about what they did. They talk about how you responded. And that's how they protect themselves, because now they've already planted the seed. So if you ever speak up, if you ever try to tell your side, people are already looking at you differently. They're already thinking, well, he did say she was like this. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's just toxic on both sides. And that's one of the most damaging parts, because it blurs accountability. It makes abuse look like a mutual problem instead of what it actually is. And it goes deeper than that. Sometimes they play the victim to their family, to their friends. They talk about how hard it is to be with you, how much they put up with, how they're trying, but you're just too much. And people feel sorry for them. They get support, understanding, reassurance, while you're the one living it, and you don't even realize it's happening. Not fully. You might hear bits of it. A comment here, a look there, something that doesn't quite sit right, and you start to feel it. That shift, that people aren't seeing you the same way, but you can't quite explain why, because the narrative has already been built, without you in the room. And that's the most unsettling part. You're being spoken about in ways you can't defend, explained, in ways that don't reflect reality, reduced to a version of you that fits their story, and it keeps them safe. Because if everyone around them believes that you're the problem, then they never have to take responsibility. They can continue exactly as they are, with a support system that reinforces it. And if things do come out, if something becomes too obvious to ignore, they already have their defense. I told you what she was like. She's been like this for ages. She makes things up. And suddenly, your truth sounds like an accusation instead of a reality. And that does something to you. It makes you question yourself, not just privately, but in how you're seen. You start thinking, how do I explain this? Will anyone believe me? Have they already made their minds up? So sometimes you stay quiet, not because you don't have a voice, but because it feels like it's already been taken from you. And that's what this kind of control does. It doesn't just isolate you physically, it isolates you socially, emotionally, reputationally. It makes you feel alone, even in a room full of people. But here's the truth. Someone else's version of you is not your identity. The things they've said about you to protect themselves do not define you. And people who only know you through someone else's narrative don't actually know you at all, because your story is yours. Not the edited version, not the distorted version, not the one told to make someone else look better, the real one. And whether people see that now, or later, or not at all, does not change the truth, because the truth doesn't rely on their approval. And one day, you stop trying to correct every lie. You stop trying to defend every version of yourself. You stop exhausting yourself proving something to people who were never given the full picture, and you just stand in your truth, quietly, confidently, unaffected by the noise, because you know what happened, you lived it, and no one else gets to rewrite that.